Hmm. Where this computer wire's like everywhere going up. Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe, all half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? Sorry, did we startle you? I might say you did. I thought you might be one of them. Oh no, you can't be. We've been patching all their spy holes. We keep the lights dim and the motors running softly, and we route out the smoke out through... That is... What were we talking about? You were singing. Oh, you've caught a verse of my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth, something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky where my love a lovely home did build for me, and where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. From there on it's all meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is... What were we talking about? What's that computer over there? It looks pretty vintage. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot. Or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively. In some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffuse-based transistor circuitry? Mold would burn up. Exactly, it burns. All the sweet smoke that issues from it, but it also leaves a sticky residue to seep through the machine, forming new connections and creating new circuits. The computer is no longer the pure domain of language and mathematics, but entropy. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on the derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are mere tourists in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels, boundless and bare. The caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. What, did you say something? You're about to tell us about the software? Oh, the software. My life's work. Xanadu. You've heard of it. Perhaps you've read about it in a journal. It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained the data structures in literary multitudes, hypertextual narrative as post-structural witness. Evolved and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you're too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on my circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted. Then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? I drive deliveries for a small antique shop, and we're closing down. Shuffling around the dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious dusty machine, and... Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyways. Far too late to do anything. Massive gate constructed out of scavenged materials blocks passage down the far side of the spire. Xanadu. This is mentioned in the first episode, or act. Baffling control panels are sheltered from... Oh, wait. Yep, that's, we already did that. How do you think we get it started? This old thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. Act 3, Scene 6. Xanadu. Jeez, that is a very disturbing sound. This thing is in rough shape. Do these switches do anything? Conway flips an unlabeled switch. Okay, that's worse. Kind of looks like a house. Type house. House. You are... houses everywhere. Move the computer. Lying on their backs and beans. Did you say Lula? Lula. I've got the machine in this is apart. Damn, I can't tell what she's saying. Oh, I have my particle degausser with me. Old systems like this can build up a remnant magnetic field that sort of warps everything along a pattern it's settled into, you know? The degausser clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around it until it's uniform again. That's how I like to think of it anyway. Like shaking a snow globe. Worth a shot. Hall of Mountain Kink. Tunnel lit cave. Well, okay. Stalactites. It's describing here. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit. This is a lost cause. What a piece of junk. Scene 7. That thing was this game. All the Mountain Keen. Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. Very meta. Very self-referential here. The old Joseph mentions Xanadu, which is interesting. So you've seen it for yourself. What's left of it? Is that the end? Chalky bones of a beautiful dream, but you can see what it once was, can't you? There's so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively stimulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. Then it began to crumble, and the strangers came. At first we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard their working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. Then we caught a glimpse of one. What they look like? They look like... No, it's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. I should never have to try to outwit them. They were always too much for me. But it's always too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Lula Chamberlain. Yes, of course. Do you know her? She's the girl in the start of Act 2. We're looking for her now. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together. Did you know? Lula, Joseph, and I. Lula's gone from here, but still in there. In Xanadu. What? Everything outside of this cave. The 0. The people? I don't know where Lulu is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway. But Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation. Until, maybe, those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. It may be dangerous. I've sent my eager seconds to negotiate with them to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines. Crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees from rock to crystal, and then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe, and a few dreams left. Scene 8. Where the strangers come from. Oh, but I didn't get to check out the other places. We need to find Lula, though. Oops. I'll hide that. For now. Oh. Maybe I want to go back in. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. It's muddy. Yeah, that's what he said. Crystals and then mud. Okay. I want to stay outside. Okay. I'll stay with him. We can look for lizards. Okay, we'll make it quick. Whoa. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Dennis Comerford. Generous disposition will be missed. A note is written in white chalk. HT 8191-T, fill date June 29th, notes of almond. Jeff James and Aaron Paolini, we think you two really have liked each other. Below the inscription, a note is written. HT 8192B, fill date July 24th, weird finish. John South always had a far off look, probably still does. HT 8192E, fill date August 1st, aftertaste of rainwater. What? Joshua Beal of Brett Camper. HT 8192N, fill date September 8th, sweet and fungal. Susan Dwyer, would have wanted it this way. Fill date September 9th, maple, turpentine. Timothy Madden, should have said something. Fill date November 1st, sense of foreboding. Unknown, seemed reasonable. Easy on the nose. Find any lizards? Wasn't really looking. Nice cover story, kid. Is that guy your boyfriend? Nah, what's boyfriend anyway? It's a word people use because everyone else does. Doesn't mean anything to me. He's my cricket. See, it means something. It's specific. I want to be specific. I think you are. It's the middle of the night and here you are in a graveyard. Any other kid your age would be in bed. You've just got to make choices and own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line about a half foot shorter and all gray, no eyes. No eyes. They were going to have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what. You look under all that rock and water, a bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. We hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over. And we knew we weren't miners. We slipped out onto the road, just these two featureless shadows. And ever since that night, we've been detailing, coloring in, specifying. I feel more like myself every day. I feel more like myself when it's just me and Julian. Well, there. Now you're getting specific. There you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't... Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. It doesn't matter. Alright, okay. We got what we need. Let's go. What did we need? C9. What is going on? Haul the mountain key again. Trace an orbit round the road and close your eyes with holy dread, for we unmold and whiskey fed and drink from rivers down below. We found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine, but I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh, soon the visions will return. What have you found? They say you need to type in a specific phrase to restore it. Oh, bit of a poem to rally the illustrious spirit. Oh, a bit of a poem to rally the illustrious spirit. Of course. Well then, type away. By all means, do not hesitate. Type away. Controlling Shannon now. Why wasn't it worth it? Okay. I'm supposed to type dome and air. Weird. Just following instructions. Here we go. Scene 10. Xanadu. I like that sound. End of road. You were standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Check out the building. We're inside a building, a storage shed for the National Park Service. There's a sensible, modern electric lantern nearby. Get the lantern. Get lantern. Taken. Exit building. Enter forest. That's not something you can enter. Just type a direction. North. You're in an open forest with a deep valley to one side. Can we climb a tree? I don't think much is to be achieved by that. Sorry. Can we dig a hole? I can't see any such thing. Pretty limited vocabulary. South. You're in forest. Hey, it's a maze. Southeast, northwest. East. You're in forest. Lula is here, soldering replacement components in a small handmade radio. Oh, we should talk to her. Ask Lula how she is doing. Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. It was working for a while, but everything I can pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck. You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back. West. Joseph is here, tapping with a small stylus on a modified pocket braille slate. Small gray kitchen, no more than a few weeks old. Dozens comfortably on top of his backpack. Maybe he has something to say. Listen, Donald, I was just transcribing your footsteps. Sounded like... Joseph runs his finger along the index card he's been tapping on from left to right. Long, weary sawn, drearily gone. Dearly gone. You beat a melancholy shuffle through these woods, Donald. I've been noting down the sounds of the forest with an ear for speech. And an inborn filter for poetry, I suppose. So maybe it's me being melancholy after all. I'm eager to see what the poetics subsystem makes of these punch cards. North? You're at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to rock as the ground sinks into the darkness. The computer tied to your upper back sickens with sweat in the afternoon sun slickens. The rope slung around your shoulder has slipped under the strap of your backpack, digging uncomfortably against your collarbone. Yell into the hole to see first if there are pirates. Yell. At least we know there's no pirates. Shine the lamp into the hole? Light lamp. Your lamp is now on. Shine lamp in hole. The lamp light only reaches a few yards down the hole, where the rock is coated in a slimy black mold. You can tell that the walls are too slick to climb any safely without assistance. Try using the rope to climb down safely. Rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk. Down. Your feet slip a few times on the slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lulu and Joseph descend carefully after you. In bed quilt. You're in bed quilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they are carrying on their backs and begin setting up. That's the last strip. So everything's down here now. Set up the gear. I only understand you as far as wanting to set the up above. Set the up above. Lula looks pensive. Ask her about the cave. Having second thoughts? I don't blame you. It's unsettling down here. Weird acoustics. Earlier as we were climbing down, I heard her voices for a moment, or not voices themselves, but the echoes of voices singing some kind of eerie, tunnelless working song. I'm glad I'm not down here alone. Ask her where the treasure is. If we knew that, we wouldn't have to set up down here. I know you think this environment will help our project, get us in touch with a deep romantic reverence for some kind of profound natural spookiness, but I was more comfortable in our lab. University picked the worst time to cut our funding. Typical institution stinginess and academic politics. I mean, I felt like we were getting really close to something. Anyway, I don't know if it's sustainable down here, you know, to live and work here together. Joseph looks uncomfortable. Jealous. Hey, Donald, can you help me, wire up these generators? Oh, the girl who's, writing the story is, I think, Junebug just mentioned that, Joseph is jealous, I think? Joseph is jealous of Lula's love for Donald, I think. If that's the thing. I'll assemble the synthesizer, but I can use some help with the serial interface if you have time. You hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east. Fire up the generators. Help Joseph. I appreciate it, Donald. I'm not much of an electrician, you know. You know that. Joseph hands you a bundle of wires, his kitten curls on a spool of cabling. Listen, the three of us had a good thing for a minute. Wouldn't you say, up at the old place before it got ugly? I'm saying we came down here to work. To really do it. Xanadu. I mean, we've got to be rational about this. All three of us have got to put our feelings aside for a bit and be rational. You know what I'm saying? Is he talking about Lula? Kind of creepy. Tell Joseph to back off. Joseph wipes his brow with a dusty sleeve. Seems down here we're all strangers. Permanently strange. You're interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before. The hell was that? Let's check it out. Rush down the tunnel with Joseph and Lula close behind. How do you like all this, kid? There's a lot of reading, but I'm really good at that anyway. Tunnel narrows, and soon you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees. Navigating the tunnel gradually becomes more awkward as smooth rock gives way to jagged, crystalline surfaces. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel, some short and piercing, some slower and groaning as if dampened by water. The tunnel opens into a large room. Crystal room. Hi. You are in a large irregular chamber, and the walls, floor, and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here, scraping black mold from the crystals. They look up when you enter. One of them seems about to speak. Finally! Let's listen to what he says. The stranger reaches for the box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. Box whirs to life, and a creepy, crackly voice blurts something unintelligible, then slows to a deep gurgle. He looks at his companions momentarily, in confused disappointment. Then he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast. Lula! Lula's headlamp scans across the northern passage as you run. Soft shadows loom perplexingly from floor to ceiling. You feel around to distinguish the shadows from crystals, but eventually you find yourselves cornered. You've hit a dead end. Who are they? Comfort Lula. You reassure Lula that the strangers are harmless. Are you sure? Maybe you're right. It sounds like they've gone back to work. Alright, let's try to pass them quickly now. Don't make eye contact. Then we'll find our way back to the equipment. In bed quilt. You were in bed quilt. Long east-west passage with holes everywhere. This is going on for a while. Lula's here, panting for breath. Did they follow us? Where's Joseph? Search for him. I only understood as far as you wanting to search. You have to be more specific. Back outside. Our day's lecturing on computer science topics to not prepare you to scale cave walls with rope. Your evenings gathering with friends to roll dice and consult fancifully illustrated charts, however, prepared you for the likelihood that the climb would end badly. And carefully descend back into the cave. Joseph suddenly emerges from one of the tunnels. That damn sound, those damn voices. I don't even know what direction I was running. I wove through the network of the tunnels. I ran my handle on the wall, always turning left. But every turn and every rock felt the same. For all I knew, I was running in circles. Finally ended up here. And I hid. I panicked. I heard you talking, but I didn't think I could trust my senses. Listen, there's one thing I have to tell you. While I was out there, lost in the tunnels and caves, I came across a Zero. And I had no idea. It's like a real place. They pick up garbage, they deliver mail, they go to work and to church, but it has an awful kind of emptiness. Wandering through, I heard horrible echoes. Weird images got burned in my mind's eye. A television, scarecrow, crystal, feather, sandwich, CRT monitor, a bottle, an anchor. Lula looks down at her feet. What's up with Lula? Nothing. Just, Joseph, you sound disturbed. Lula, you've heard the same damn stories I have. It doesn't matter now, damn it. I'm leaving. To hell with all of it. Get back on track. We're too close. You shout something to Joseph about the project you're all working on together. You'll die in these damn cold caves. And what about those men? You know they'll come back. Tell them we can find somewhere to start a fire. And you shout something at Joseph about going deeper in the caves. Did you hear their voices? They're not... They'll find you, but not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop, your stupid fight is reading around the whole damn cave. Joseph is right, we can't stay here. I'm leaving too, but I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon, I'm heading down to Zero. I think we need her to stay. You plead with Lil about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damn machine does with it. Oh. In tunnels. Banded by your collaborators, your confidence, companions. The only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship. Pretty thick, sounds like Beardo had his heart broken. One of the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece, combing the underground passages for a new site in which to realize your vision. Sounds like a genius. How do you mean? Vain. Vanity. Ain't it the truth? My aunt Remedios, before she got into the whole ethnomusicography thing, she was a painter, mostly nudes and oil. She had this model. I'll never forget him. Big, classically, physically guy. Looked like he was about to storm Troy. He made everyone call him the Colonel. Weaver and I saw this guy naked a lot. You couldn't help it. He was always posing somewhere in the house. Chasing the light from room to room while Aunt Remedios made a sketch of his profile or worked on the right mix of pigments for his abdomen. The Colonel had this magnificent hair, long black hair that ran down just to the bottom of his shoulder blades. One evening, he was standing next to an open window in the back of the house. Sun was setting, early spring I think. It was kind of windy. Aunt Remedios was trying to get his hair right. She kept arranging it, like half in front, half behind, running over his shoulder and laying across his chest in this very specific way. But it itched him or something, and he'd do this weird, indignant shuffle thing, or the wind from the open window would push it around it, or he'd start and turn his neck when Weaver or I ran by, and everything would be tangled again. The final product was a swirl of black lines, billowing around the top of his neck. Weird thing is, I don't even remember his face now. Just a black swirl. Probably best one she ever painted. Hall of the Mountain King. After what may have been years, you stumble out of a tunnel into a cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling like grotesques. In the center of the room is an enormous rocky spire. This is where you will set up your equipment and establish your legacy. Xanadu. Now is the time to continue to work. Research Assistance 0, Realism Index 37%, Romance Index 2%, Mold Coverage 0. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Playing a game inside a, like, thing running game, new assistant, loading job advertisements. Hired Weaver who studies mathematics. Wait, what the fuck? Assign assistant to task. Assign research assistants to debugging, transcription, or speculation. Weaver, speculation. Assigning anything available. Research assistant, speculation. Sleep. Time passes. Weaver muses about the love lives of fungal colonies. Now's the time to continue to work. Romance index is 22%. All right, let's give Weaver something else. Transcription. Hire a new assistant. Marianne, who studies fine art. Assign her. Speculation. Sleep. Weaver types up some lurid imagery from a dream journal. Marianne discards centuries of exhaustive data on the uniformity of cause and effect. Greasy black mold is collecting on your computer equipment. Now is the time to continue to work. %. Jeez. Okay, we're gonna... Debugging. 2 research... Weaver. Jeez. Andrew studies statistics. Speculation. Sleep. Andrew identifies a bug with oxygen level. That's true, Shannon. But I can't seem to get out of this, Shannon, so... I want to keep playing. Okay, sure, we can keep playing. Come on, kid, we've got stuff to do. Sure you want to quit? Yes. Quit. Maybe we have to lose or die somehow in order to start over? Eat the lamp! Smash the computer! Eat lamp. Don't be ridiculous. Maybe we have to wait it out. Time passes. Research assistants come and go. One of them, A mathematician named Weaver follows the strangers into the tunnels. She doesn't return, but neither do they. Years pass, mold accumulates. You and the remaining research assistants take it to burning disused equipment in the center of the room. Black mold is intensely flammable and makes an excellent crystallist. It leaves behind a sweet, narcotic perfume. One night you have visitors, outsiders, different ones. Then later that night, an old friend. You really did go deeper into the caves. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit. Lula's back.